Before the fame, before the sold-out arenas, there was just a little girl with a voice too powerful for the quiet streets of Boca Raton, Florida. Ariana Grande was born into a world that didn't yet know her name, but it would. From the moment she could speak, she wasn't just talking, she was singing. And not just singing, feeling every note as if it carried her entire soul. Her family noticed early. This wasn't normal talent. This was something deeper. Something rare. While other children played, Ariana stood on small stages, chasing something invisible but undeniable. She performed in local theater, her voice cutting through the noise, commanding attention far beyond her years. But talent alone was never enough. Doubts crept in. The industry is unforgiving, especially to young dreamers. Rejection became part of the journey. Doors closed. Opportunities slipped away. Yet, every no only sharpened her hunger. At just 15, she made a decision that would change everything. She left the comfort of home to chase a dream that had no guarantees. Broadway became her battlefield. Every audition was a test. Every performance a step closer, or further, from the life she imagined. And then, finally, a breakthrough. A role in the musical 13. It wasn't global fame. Not yet. But it was the first crack in the wall standing between Ariana and the world. The girl from Boca Raton was no longer just dreaming. She was on her way. Fame didn't arrive like a gentle wave. It hit like a storm. Ariana stepped into the spotlight through television, landing a role that would introduce her to millions. Suddenly, she wasn't just a performer, she was a face everyone recognized. But recognition came with a cost. Behind the bright lights of Nickelodeon sets and cheerful laughter was a young woman fighting to be taken seriously. Many saw her as just another TV star. Few understood the depth of her ambition. The world wasn't listening to her voice yet. Not really. And that hurt. She knew she was more. She felt it every time she sang in private, every time she pushed her vocal limits beyond what people expected. But breaking free from the label of child star is never easy. It's a battle against perception, against expectations, against doubt. So she worked. Relentlessly. Late nights in the studio. Endless vocal training. Writing, experimenting, searching for a sound that truly belonged to her. She wasn't just trying to make music, she was trying to prove something. To the world. And to herself. Then came the moment that changed everything. Her debut single. A voice so powerful, so controlled, so emotional, it couldn't be ignored. Comparisons to legends began. People started to listen. But with attention came pressure. Expectations grew. Every move was watched. Every note judged. Ariana had stepped into the spotlight. Now she had to survive it. Success can be beautiful. But it can also be brutal. As Ariana's music climbed charts and her name echoed across the world, the pressure intensified. Fame magnified everything, every success, every mistake, every vulnerability. There was no hiding anymore. Her albums began defining an era. Hit after hit. Performances that left audiences speechless. She wasn't just a singer now, she was becoming a global force. But behind the perfection, cracks began to form. Personal struggles. Public scrutiny. Loss. The world watched as she faced one of the darkest moments of her life. A tragedy that shook not just her, but millions around the globe. It wasn't just a headline. It was real. Painful. Unimaginable. And in that moment, everything could have ended. Many would have stepped away. Disappeared. Broken under the weight of it all. But Ariana did something different. She came back. Not as the same person, but stronger. Deeper. More real. Her music changed. It carried pain, healing, honesty. Songs became more than entertainment. They became connection. She turned her scars into strength. And the world didn't just listen anymore. They felt her. There comes a moment in every artist's life where they must choose, stay safe or evolve. Ariana chose evolution. With each new project, she shed old versions of herself. The image people once tried to define her with no longer applied. She took control of her music, her image, her narrative. This was no longer about proving herself. She already had. Now it was about expression. Her sound matured. Her lyrics became more intimate, more fearless. She spoke about love, heartbreak, anxiety, growth. Nothing was off limits anymore. Fans weren't just listening, they were relating. And that's where her true power emerged. Connection. Millions saw themselves in her story. In her vulnerability. In her strength. She wasn't perfect, and she didn't pretend to be. And that honesty made her unstoppable. Awards followed. Records shattered. Stadiums filled. But the most important victory. She became herself. Not the version the world expected. But the version she chose. Today, Ariana Grande stands as more than a superstar. She is a symbol of resilience. Of transformation. Of what it means to rise, again and again, no matter how many times life tries to pull you down. But her story isn't finished. That's what makes it powerful. Because even now, she continues to evolve. Exploring new creative paths. Taking risks. Stepping into spaces beyond music. Acting, business, artistry, she refuses to be limited. And maybe that's the secret. She never stopped being that little girl with a dream. She just learned how to fight for it. Her journey reminds us that success isn't a straight line. It's messy. It's painful. It's unpredictable. But for those willing to endure, it's worth it. Because sometimes the voice that once echoed in small rooms ends up changing the world. And Ariana's voice. It's still echoing. Louder than ever.